Okay, for this tutorial, I'm going to talk about bulk narration. So just going through a bunch of files, picture files, in rapid order, identify the file name, give a little description of the picture, and then move on to the next picture. And you'll see that it's going to go pretty fast. In this case, I have gathered up all the pictures that I could find, and I tried to limit it to relatives, but there's some that are not. I also tried to limit so that it does not include people that go beyond your immediate family, which would be like Sissy's kids, Diane's kids, Gloria's kids, Kathy's kids. Because I assume that if they want to continue this process, they'll continue it with their own families. Okay, so anyway, to start with, what we want to do is find the pictures, and as is the usual case in these tutorials, I'm going to find it on my computer, which will be a different place than in yours, so just kind of bear with me while I find it. So I'm going to go down to the Start button down the lower left, right click, bring up the File Explorer, and I'm going to go to this case, my PC or this PC, the videos, the family videos, and the family pictures, and this will be in the all people folder. And here we have a whole bunch of pictures of people. In fact, I went through and tried to gather up all the pictures that had people in them that were applicable to this project. And I will have sent you a copy of this folder on an SD card, or you can put it together yourself if you prefer. Once you get these pictures and the narration for them in place, you want to make sure that these are separated for all time, because as people come in and change file names and change the order of things around, then the narration won't match the pictures anymore. So this particular folder with these particular pictures and these particular file names have to stay together. So you got to be thinking about how you're going to keep all that together throughout time. And the easiest way is just to make a special folder that has your narration for the pictures and the pictures in the same folder. So first thing I'm going to do, we have this folder identified and up, but you need to make the narration. So I'm going to open the Audacity program, in the usual way. I'm going to I don't have my Zoom connected to this, but so I'm using the microphone in the computer. But actually on the well, kind of complicated, but you'll see it as me using the microphone on the computer here. First thing you want to do is, of course, make sure you're properly connected. If you're using the Zoom, to get the Zoom connected and set up before you turn on the Audacity. And when you're ready to go, then to make a test recording. And we can see that there is stuff being recorded, so I can stop this, delete this by clicking the little X up there in the track. Oops, come on. Okay. And so the have verified that it's recording okay. So when I'm ready to start the recording, minimize the Audacity, bring that folder with all the pictures in it back up, and on the very first picture, make sure you're clear at the top. So if you're not clear at the top, make sure you scroll clear to the top of the list. Excuse me. And right click on the first picture and click preview, and the picture will come up in the preview window, and at the top it will give you the file name. You want to read off the file name exactly as it's shown, and you want to make sure you clearly enunciate it, because that's the only thing that the people who will be trying to match up your narrative with these pictures will have to make that match. In this case, it's 3 kittens. That's 3 kittens .jpg. And it looks like there's a woman at the left and somebody at the right holding 3 kittens. The person on the right might be me, and the reason I say that is because the stripe on the jacket there might be my windbreaker, and I don't know who that is on the left. Somebody looking very happy. Going to go to the next picture, and I'm going to do this by clicking the right cursor arrow. This file is 85th underline p1a .jpg. This is a picture taken at Disused Junction with Gene Beaver at the time, because Gene Beaver's standing at the stove. Troy Beaver is in the foreground, and Diane Sala, who is then Diane Frazzo, and her husband John Frazzo, sitting at the little dining room or kitchen nook there. This picture probably was taken in the probably the early 80s, I would guess, maybe up to the mid 80s. Next picture, same scene, same people. This file is 85th underline p2a .jpg. That's 85th underline place 2a .jpg. Gene Beaver standing at the stove. Troy Diane Sala Frazzo and her husband John Frazzo. Going to the next picture. This is a little girl. The file name is acb underline baby .jpg. So that's acp underline baby .jpg. I have no idea who that baby is. Going to the next picture. This picture was taken in Ashland when Mom was going to college to get her teaching credential. This would have been in the late 60s, possibly early 70s. The file name is ASHLND3A.jpg. In the picture, it looks like Benny on some sort of a wheeled vehicle, possibly part of a grocery cart, I'm guessing, maybe, and Samoy the dog. We can zoom in on this for verification here of the. You won't particularly want to tell people about you zooming in and out because they won't be able to see the picture when they're listening to your narrative, but you'll be able to zoom in and out, and you'll be able to see the zooms that I do here to be able to see the dog and the people easier. Next picture. Oh, and this is the street that runs beside the house, and there's like a hill, and the kids would roll up and down the hill, I guess. I had already left home, so whatever they were doing is what they were doing. Next picture, also in Ashland. The file name is ASHLND4A.jpg. And this is Benny still on that whatever it is he's sitting on, and Richard is on his hands and knees with Gloria right behind him, again on the hill next to the house in Ashland. Next picture, and of course the dog in the background. I have no idea who these people are. The file is BEAAR, no, BEAAM001.jpg. It's two women standing with a man. Well, no, that looks like it's another woman between them. She's so tall, it looks like she was first it looked like she was a man, but no, it's a woman because she's wearing a dress. I have no idea who these people are. Going to the next picture. BEATW001.jpg. I don't know who that is. Going to the next picture. BEDCJ2.jpg. A little girl. I'm assuming one of the Bednarik girls, but I don't know for sure. Next picture. File name is BEDCJ3.jpg. Another little girl, again assuming it's one of the Bednarik girls. Going to the next picture. File name is BEDCJ4.jpg. Another little girl. Going to the next picture. File name is BEDCJ5.jpg. It's a little girl on a horse hanging onto the saddle horn. On the extreme left is a man, looks like he's holding the horse for the little girl. Going to the next picture. File name is BEDCJ6.jpg. It's a little girl on a sled in a snow scene. Going to the next picture. BEDCJ5.jpg. CUP.jpg. I assume the CUP part is because the little girl is drinking from a cup in the picture. Going to the next picture. File name is BEDL_T.jpg. It's a man on the left and a woman. I assume husband and wife, assuming probably the parents of the little girls in the previous pictures. Going to the next picture. File name is BEDLEOK.jpg. Going to the next picture. And that's a close-up of the same man that was in the previous picture. Don't know who he is. This is a picture of the woman. It looks like it's taken from the earlier picture, enlarged. The file name is BEDTHERE.jpg. I assume that might be a Teresa Bednarik, just guessing. Going to the next picture. The file name is Benny_friends_C62.jpg. That's Benny on the left and his friends, who I think were brothers. I don't remember what their name is. Going to the next picture. File name is Benny_in_kitchen_C1977.jpg. It's a picture of Benny eating something, standing in the kitchen. There, is that the kitchen or the dining room? I guess that's, I don't know, can't tell. Kitchen, I guess. Yeah, it's against that east wall. Going to the next picture. File name is BOWKF001.jpg. That's BOWKF as in Frank 001.jpg. It's a little girl. I assume that's Marilee's daughter's, let's see, Marilee's daughter, Karen. Marilee being Jean's sister. Going to the next picture. The file name is boybf.jpg. That's boy, BOY, B, F as in Frank, .jpg. It's a boy in shorts in a kind of an oversized hat, standing between two trees in a rural setting. Have no idea who that is. Going to the next picture. Picture name, the file name is Carrie Gumaz. So it's Carrie _Gumaz _web.jpg. That's CARRIE _GOUMAZ _WEB.jpg. Going to the next picture. The file name is cat1, CAT1 .jpg. So it's cat1.jpg. I believe that's Diane holding one of her cats. That was probably taken at, it looks like the quality that would have been taken by that little camera. So it may have been taken at Mom's place, even though it's one of her cats. It does kind of look like Diane. Not sure when that would have been taken, probably in around 2000. Going to the next picture. File name is CJB underline CHLD .jpg. That's CJB underline CHLD .jpg. It's a little girl smiling at the camera. Don't know who that is. Going to the next picture. The file name for this picture is Diane1A.jpg. It's DIANE1A.jpg. It's Diane on the front porch of the house in Ashland. She's feeding Samoy, who is standing up on her hind legs begging for the food. Going to the next picture. The file name is Diane2A.jpg. That's DIANE2A.jpg. Again, she's feeding Samoy, who's standing up on her hind legs begging for the food. Going to the next picture. Oh, and the house is in Ashland, the porch, same as the previous picture. Similar picture, again, Diane3A.jpg. That's DIANE3A.jpg. On the porch, again, Samoy up on her hind legs, begging for the food. On the front porch of the house in Ashland. Going to the next picture. The file name is DianeLair.jpg. That's DIANELAR.jpg. It is Lawrence, Larry, Sala, and Diane, who would have been Diane Frazzo at that time. And it looks like that was probably taken, that was taken in at Diane's place, because she had one of those little cameras like Mom's. So that previous one with the cat also would have been taken at her place, because that was the time that I was at her place up in Vancouver. And trying to think of when that was, probably the late 1990s. Going to the next picture. The file name for this picture is DILG001.jpg. It's a man with a mustache. I have no idea who that is. Going to the next picture. This picture is DILG01.jpg. It looks like it's the same picture as the previous one, but this looks like an original scan, where the other looked like it had been cleaned up some, because this has more of a yellowish tint to it than the other one did. Moving to the next picture. Oh, still have no idea who that is. The file name for this picture is DILR001.jpg. It's a woman with rather severe looking hair. Don't know who that is. Going to the next picture. Same woman, same picture, somewhat enlarged. The file name is DILR01.jpg. Going to the next picture. Picture of a little girl sitting in a, looks like kind of an oversized rocking chair maybe. The file name is EGB_CHLD.jpg. Going to the next picture. The file name is EJH_mission_district plus meet.jpg. So that's EJH_mission_district plus sign meet.jpg. And it looks like Mom and Vivian, her friend, or mission mate Vivian, with some boys in their typical Mormon missionary white shirts, ties, and name tags. Going to the next picture. So that picture would have been taken in Madison, Wisconsin, probably around, I'm not sure when Mom was on her mission, back in the late 1980s, was it? Not sure. Next picture. Another picture of missionaries. The file name is EJH_mission_baptism.jpg. That's EJH_JULIAN_BAPTISM.jpg. Going to the next picture. This is another mission picture, it looks like. The file name is EJH_missionary_dinner.jpg. That's EJH_dinner.jpg. Going to the next picture. This is a picture of Jean. I don't know if she would have been probably either Beaver or Harvey. And I'm not sure exactly where she is there. The file name is EJH_morning_sun.jpg. That's EJH_morning_sun.jpg. Going to the next picture. This is a group that I don't know who they are. The file name is EJH_ mtc.jpg. Going to the next picture. Oh, and the picture is a group of people. There are people in the back row, and there's people kneeling in the front row, and some people off to the right. Looks like might be a child off to the right. And I don't know what that building is in the background. Going to the next picture. This is Jean when she took her trip to Plano, Texas. And this is a picture of Jean and Roy Wood, her sister Marilee's husband. The file name is EJH underline Roy underline Blanco dot JPG. That's EJH underline ROY underline BLANCO dot JPG. Going to the next picture. This is another picture that has Roy Wood and Marilee and Jean. Marilee on the left, Roy in the center, Jean on the right. The file name is EJH underline Roy underline Marilee underline Bend dot JPG. That's EJH underline ROY underline MARILEE underline BEND dot JPG. Going to the next picture. This looks like a picture that's going to have something to do with caves and spelunking, because it looks like there's a hole in the ground with a box around it and a bunch of people. The file name is EJH underline RPH underline spelunking dot JPG. So the RPH would be Richard Paul Hansen, Jean's brother. So the file name is EJH underline RPG, or let me start again. The file name is EJH underline RPH underline SPELUNKING dot JPG. Going to the next picture. This is a picture that would be Jean, and it would be Jean Salas still at that time, in Ashland. The file name is EJH underline student underline Ashland 2 dot JPG. That's EJH underline STUDENT underline ASHLAND 2, the number 2 dot JPG. It's a picture of Jean looking to the left. Actually looking to our right, looking to her left. This is another picture of Jean Sala in Ashland Well, actually, this says teacher, so this is probably when she was in Redmond or Bend or wherever she was teaching. The file name is EJH underline teacher dot JPG. That's EJH underline TEACHER dot JPG. With her glasses and smiling, going ahead to the next picture. Similar to the last picture, just a different pose. The file name is EJH underline teacher underline dot JPG. So that's EJH underline TEACHER underline J, or start that again. EJH underline TEACHER underline dot JPG. Going to the next picture. This is a picture of Jean Hansen at the time. The file name is EJH underline teen dot JPG. So that file name is EJH underline TEEN dot JPG. Going to the next picture. This is a picture of Jean. She still would have been Jean Hansen on a tractor on a farm, probably her grandpa's farm in Weezer, maybe. The file name is EJH underline tractor dot JPG. That's EJH underline TRACTOR dot JPG. Next picture. This is Jean not sure what, probably Beaver, with her missionary companion Vivian. This would have been taken in Madison, Wisconsin, when she was on her mission. The file name is EJH underline Vivian dot JPG. That's EJH underline VIVIAN dot JPG. And I'll do one more picture. So the next picture is another picture of Jean and her missionary partner Vivian. The file name is EJH underline Vivian2 dot JPG. That's EJH underline VIVIAN the number 2 dot JPG. So it goes pretty fast, actually. I'm going to go ahead and close out this preview window. And we can see that from here we went down to there she is on her mission. So this is the last picture of the group that was done. So that's quite a few pictures in a fairly short amount of time. So I'm going to now open the Audacity, verify that it's still recording, so we have the recording, and I'm going to stop it. And now, because if you are recording for a long time, for example, let's say you just go through and you just brute force record, a few hours of this, however long it takes, maybe could be as much as 3 or 4 hours if you brute force your way through it to get those pictures done. Probably better to save it as an MP3 because it'd be a much smaller file. So what we're going to do is go to File, the upper left, Export, Audio, and we'll verify that this is set for an MP3. Oops, it says MP2 here. MP3. So we want to come down to MP3, select MP3. Want to give it a file name. We'll call it narrate pictures. And if you do them all at once and you get all the pictures done in one shot, you could just use that as a file name. Otherwise, you probably want to use a -1 or a -A or something to indicate that this is the first group of a set. Now we want to make sure that we save this narrative in the same folder that has the pictures in it, because this narrative and those pictures, because those file names have to be associated with each other. If you get those separated or you change file names within this folder ever, now this narrative will not match, and this entire project will be, this entire little procedure will be useless to everybody. So I'm going to get this PC, that file in my case is here in the family vids, family pics, and under all people. And of course there's no MP3 files in there now because they're all just picture files, but we'll now save it, so there will be an MP3 file show up in here, and we can click on save. There's nothing on this screen that we need to do, so we can just OK this down at the bottom. And now it's encoding the audio as MP3. This takes much longer than to do a wave because it actually has to do some computing to make that conversion from the wave format to the MP3 format. But I'm going to let it run so you can get an idea of how long it typically takes. Now you know how long this narrative was so far. So if you do all the pictures and it takes you a couple of hours, this could take quite a long time to do this encoding. So it will be your decision whether you want to do it in pieces or you want to try to do it all as one long file. Might not be too bad of an idea to maybe do narrative for different groupings of pictures. And I'll just let that run here for as long as it takes. And there are some things we can do to speed this encoding up, but I don't want to get into that. I don't want you to get into it, because if you start changing settings in Audacity, it's probably just going to confuse you. So probably better to leave it as it is as much as possible, and then just live with the delays as we need to get the files saved. And if you know that it's going to be taking, quite a long time to make this export, to save this file as an MP3, you can go off and do other things. It's nothing that says you have to sit in front of the computer while this process is taking place. While this MP3 file is encoding, I might make the comment for people who are not going to use Audacity but who want to make descriptions for their own pictures, that you can use other things like your cell phone or some kind of a little voice recorder just to make your descriptions of the pictures. Now, the pictures, if they're digital, you definitely want to identify the file names as was done in this video. But oftentimes you're describing things like prints or slides that don't have any file name or nothing that links them to a computer in any way. So in that case, it's very, very important to very clearly identify the picture and the details in the picture, so that somebody that has the box of pictures and that audio file will be able to definitively identify the specific picture you happen to be talking about. Okay, that completed. Of course, we want to check it. So we know where that file is. We know that we put it into the same folder as the pictures are in. And we knew that we called it narrative, so it's going to be under the ends. So we come down here. There's the juds and the longs and there's the N for narrate. Okay, if we double click on this, it'll bring up the default player and it should play it, and we can verify that the audio was recorded. We don't have to play the whole thing, of course, but minimize the Audacity, bring that folder with all the pictures in it back up, and on the very first picture, make sure you're clear at the top. So if you're not clear at the top, make sure you scroll clear to the top of the okay, we don't need to keep all this. Now, the reason that did not start clear at the beginning of the file or of the narrative is because of the way that the recording is done when I'm doing this tutorial. So I'm separately recording this, so the entire thing will come up in the tutorial the way it's supposed to. You don't need to worry about that because you won't be trying to do a tutorial type recording while you're doing your recording. Okay, so anyway, at this point then we could either close that or minimize that. We've verified that this worked all right, so we can close the audio track. We can close the Audacity, and as usual, we do not save because we don't want to save this in the Audacity format. And that closes the Audacity, and that ends the basically it ends the entire tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the recorder here.